I guess it was us trying to run before we could walk, and we should have learnt one step at a time.
I want to welcome you to Humans in Business, where we go beyond a typical business video series, focusing not on the what, but the who. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with Aron Gelbard, a challenger of the status quo with innovation, pride, and delight at the heart of his business. Aron is the founder of tech-first florist Bloom & Wild. Born out of frustration, Aron set about making the process of sending and receiving flowers as easy as sending a text message. Bloom & Wild has claimed the title of the UK's top-rated flower company and was the second fastest-growing business in the UK. Aron himself has been featured in the Maserati 100. He's a father, husband, and I hear a great dinner party host. I can't wait to find out more about this incredible human. Hi, Aron. Thank you so much for joining me on Humans in Business today. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
I love Bloom & Wild. I'm a big customer myself. I send flowers to my mum every month and she loves it. And I love that you're all about spreading joy and happiness through flowers. Why is that important to you? Why is spreading joy so important to you?
I moved to the UK when I was 5 with my mum. It was just her and me. And I guess when you move somewhere new, you're very focused on trying to fit in and make your way in a new place. And the way I tried to do this was by pleasing people and always getting people to like me, basically. Try to do well at school. And I've always been very motivated by how people respond to me and, you know, by that feedback. And when I started out with work, I tried to do a good job and get like a good review every few months from my manager. Over time, it became a bit less motivating and I became more and more interested in being able to get this positive feedback at a mass scale. And you know, if I knew how to cure a disease, then that would have been brilliant, but I'm not a doctor and I don't know how to do that. So I thought about what could I do that's going to genuinely have a positive impact on as many people as possible. And I started to think about flowers as this thing that should be a real joy every time you send or receive them, but isn't. And so I wondered if I could make it better.
Yeah, and the fact that they come through the letterbox offers me a lot more joy than having to go to the post office or have to wait in for flowers. So you've definitely done that, and my mum loves having the flowers every month. I think it reminds her that I'm thinking of her. And so one of my kind of core values in life is all about family and love and being there. So what the values that you have in your life, be it in work, be it in your personal life, what are the kind of key values that motivate you?
Yeah, I think my biggest personal value is probably kindness. I feel like if you try to do the right thing by people and be good to people and help wherever you can, then it's a really rewarding way of living your life. And people will also try and, well, people will hopefully be kind back to you. So that's more of a personal one. At work, we've got a few values. Probably the one that I care most about is care. And I feel like if we can really care a huge amount about every single customer that we interact with and every single bouquet that we prepare and send out, then people will trust us with those important moments. You mentioned that you, when you send your mum flowers, then she's reminded of you even though you're not physically there. Actually, in a lot of cases, our flower senders and recipients aren't in the same place. And so our flowers are an expression of emotion and of care from one person to another. So I want us to put all of that care in as well so that we're transmitting care as well as we can.
I think wouldn't the world be such a better place if all of the companies led with that positivity, that kindness, that sharing value? Have you had any major setbacks in the business that you've had to overcome? And how did you do that?
Had lots of major setbacks. The one that I probably remember most was when we started, we were ordering sample boxes and they cost us £30 a box. We bought them in southeast London. And after a little while, we thought this is ridiculous, paying £30 per sample box out of our own savings. So we asked the company that was making the boxes if we could get cheaper boxes. And they said, if you order 1,000 boxes, then you'll pay £2.70 per box. So we thought this felt cheaper, which is good. It was still a lot of money. It was still £2,700 of our savings that we were spending on these boxes. But we thought we just have to not spend £30 a box anymore. So we ordered 1,000 boxes and we sent out 20 of them as samples to people who are interested in our flowers. And then we called up the recipients to see what they thought. And all 20 of the people that we called up said that the flowers had a disease and they were moldy. And it turned out they had a disease called botrytis, which is what happens to flowers when they are not ventilated for a long period of time.
Oh, so there's no holes in the box.
There were no holes in these boxes. And so we researched it and realized we weren't going to be able to use these boxes. So we had to throw away the other 980 boxes, which is like a meaningful amount of the savings that we'd set aside to start the company had gone on these boxes. And I guess it was us trying to run before we could walk, and we thought that we'd figured it out. And actually, in hindsight, it was silly spending £2.70 per box, because that was still really expensive compared to what we're doing now. And we should have learnt one step at a time. So I think back to that a lot.
One of the questions that I love to ask, because it really allows us to take off this kind of armour of this entrepreneur. Just like everyone else, we brush our teeth, we're with our families, that kind of thing. What's the most ridiculous thing about you, or the weirdest?
When I got married, my best man did a speech. And
they're always great to point these things out.
He made fun of my memory. I do have a really good memory, but I do spend time remembering things that I really don't need to remember. He said that he bet that in 5 years' time I'd remember which hotel room everybody stayed in at our wedding.
Do you?
And then actually we went back to the hotel where we got married a couple of weeks ago. And we checked into a room, and my wife asked me who stayed in this room at our wedding, and obviously I remembered, so I do remember ridiculous things.
That's incredible. That is a great little party trick. There must be other uses you could use for that memory as well.
I probably should.
Maybe like counting cards or something that you probably shouldn't do. That's
probably
great.
not,
Yeah, that's amazing. I'd love to know a little bit more about the keepsake items that you brought with you and why they are so important to you on your journey. So if you'd like to show me the first one, I'd love to have a look. They look great.
Of course. So this is the start of the Bloom and Wild story. This is a picture of the four of us, my co-founder and I, and the first two people we hired. This is our office. We had one table in a sort of warehouse area. We had a bouquet of flowers, obviously, but it felt pretty silly, and our team pictures now don't look like that. But it's important to remember what things are like at the beginning, and actually we figured out a lot, just the four of us at the very beginning. And one of those first two employees that we hired is still with us, and she's been brilliant. And it's been over 5 years.
What kind of value, because it's, I mean, I know at this stage when there's only a couple of you around the table, you have to do everything yourself. What kind of like traits or skills or values do you think it's really important to have when you're just setting up for your company? So when you were back here?
I think a lot of it's about perseverance and hard work, and just figuring out, there's so much to do, just trying to get as much done as you can, not giving up, accepting that it's going to take a long time to build something big, being patient, being humble, learning what's not working and improving it as you go along.
I think we don't talk enough about patience and being humble in business. You hear a lot about being courageous and being bold and being kind of gritty, but we don't talk that much about being patient. And I had to learn that, you know, when I first started the company, I was go, go, go. And actually patience is one of the best things that we can have, but type A entrepreneurs don't normally have that patience, so I've had to learn that myself. This is a wonderful picture. Thank you for sharing it with me. What else do you have in your box?
This is the first set of designs that we did for Bloom and Wild boxes, and we came up with all sorts of ideas. I guess now people know us for flowers through the letterbox. And we actually had quite a lot of other ideas as well. We wondered whether we should make bags that people would be able to carry around with them. We wondered about different shapes of boxes. Would the flowers need to be pre-tied? And actually so much has changed about what we've done, but those original designs really have stuck, and we've changed that box very little. And I guess it's become a little iconic now, and it's something that we're really proud of. But it's great to go back to the pencil drawings. Obviously now we do it all by computer, and it's much more professionalized. This is great.
I love seeing just this pencil on paper, like everything about it is just so raw and organic. I love that you kept it. I see you've got another really fancy item in your keepsake box here. Can you tell me a little bit more about that one?
I can. So this fancy item is actually far too fancy for us to have made ourselves. This is the first thank you card that we received from a customer. We received it at Valentine's Day, so they put a heart on it. And I found it really cool that somebody wanted to send a thank you card to us as a company, because it meant that they realized we weren't just a sort of company, but we're a group of people trying to do something great. But then actually I really appreciated their creativity in sending it back to us as well, and it felt like they were embracing what we were doing.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. That's really great. So I'm going to go into some quick fire questions. How do you have your eggs?
Scrambled.
Text or WhatsApp?
WhatsApp.
Netflix or Amazon?
Neither.
Ooh. Dogs or cats?
Cats.
Facebook, Twitter or Instagram?
Facebook.
The weirdest thing about you?
My memory.
What's worse, doing the laundry or doing the dishes?
Dishes.
Big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Music or podcasts?
Music.
Toilet paper over or under?
Don't know what you mean.
So do you put, when you fold the toilet paper on a roll, do you put it over the top or do you leave it hanging underneath?
Leave it hanging underneath.
Everyone's different, you know? You can tell a lot about a person. Humans are?
Kind when they want to be.
I'm happiest when?
I'm relaxed with family and friends.
I'm an entrepreneur because?
I want to have an impact and think I can figure out how to do it.
The legacy I want to leave behind is?
Lots of people having received brilliant flowers and shared wonderful moments because of them.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That was really insightful. So to thank you for being here today, I've got a little gift for you.
Thank you.
I've actually got 2 little gifts
Wow.
for you. So this is actually one for you to give to your daughter.
Oh, thank you.
And then
That's
this
really
is
sweet
for
of
one
you.
for you when you host one of your dinner parties.
I won't give that to my daughter.
But no, please, please don't. Drink responsibly. So the reason why I got this gift for your daughter is because I know that when I was younger and I was growing up, I really wish that I'd written down some more parts of my life to remember as I get older, because I think as adults sometimes we become less fun and we can learn a lot from the memories that we had as a kid. And she can create her own little keepsake box. So I just thought I'd give her a little something, and I love writing letters, so I hope that she does too. And the wine is obviously for you to enjoy at one of your dinner parties, which I've heard are fantastic. So yeah, enjoy. And thank you so much for coming on and being a guest. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'll enjoy the wine. I definitely won't give it to my daughter.
No.
And we can do letter writing practice, and
Yeah.
it will be wonderful to share this with her when she's a bit older.
Amazing. Thanks, Aaron. Thank
you.
you so much.